Well, Aljamain, looking pretty fresh, man. The 2023 Fighters Only World MMA Awards. How does it feel to be here, man?
Feels good. It's been a long, crazy year, so this is what it's all about. The end of the year time, celebrating all the victories, the wins, the ups and downs, and I think it's a special moment for the fighters and the coaches.
Talk to me about the last few months for you. Since the championship reign came to an end, I guess mentally, as a person, has it been nice to kind of breathe a little bit, maybe not necessarily have that pressure, or has it made you hungry, or are you itching to get back in there?
I'm definitely itching to get back. All I wanted was 1 month off to have my vacation, decompress a little bit, and reset. It is what it is. I got rushed back a little bit, but I took the fight. No excuses. The better man won that night. I'd eventually like to run it back down the road, hopefully at 145, and we'll see who's the real better man.
Talk to me about the 145 life. We talked to your teammate Nazim earlier. He said he's seen out of you that you seem a lot happier not having to be a 135er anymore. Does it go beyond that? Is it physically, do you feel just better as you prepare for your featherweight debut?
I definitely feel physically better. One of the things, the difference from going from the Henry fight to the O'Malley fight was just that mental reset of knowing that I'm going to have to make that weight cut all over again, getting up to 175 pounds and knowing that I got to get back down. It's that mental roller coaster. It's not easy on the body. Having a little bit of a break is always more beneficial. So this is nice. Not having to think about cutting 35 pounds. It's a little bit less. And it's still going to be tough. Still going to be a tough weight cut no matter what. But I do feel like this is going to give me a fresh, at least on my career, and I'm excited about the opportunity. And hopefully I'm on that Miami card, and we can start the trend off in the right way.
It must be nice to not have to be asked about Merab all the time as well, about you guys fighting and what happened. So is it nice to kind of have that, at least for now, be clear in your brain?
Yeah, I never really understood that thing. I always said, win or lose, I plan on going up. So it was just one of those things, like, I'm not sure why people were pushing that narrative that we need to fight in order for him to fight for a world title. He beat the other guy that I fought to get a world title. So what's the difference? And I think the way he beat him was way more impressive. So with that being said, we know how the UFC works. It's a little bit more on popularity sometimes in a business standpoint, and I get that. I would like for us to eventually get back to the merit side of things. That's what I'm all about, man. I fought the most ranked fighters, and it's nice that Merab's get his shine, I can get my shine, and hopefully I can have the same success that I've had at 35.
You said you want to return to Miami. That's in March, I guess. What was the question? Who do you want? I know you mentioned on your YouTube channel about Calvin Cater, that has been floated. You had tweeted about Max Holloway. So what are you hoping for? What's the ideal and realistic scenario?
Realistic scenario is probably myself and Calvin Cater. He's the only one I think that doesn't have a fight. He's been out for a bit as well. At this point, by come March, I'm probably going to be out for a bit as well. So with that said, I think that's going to be the fight. But the Max Holloway fight would be a nice one. 2 former champions going at it. Max doesn't really have much to do right now unless he's going to go up to 55. That's still speculation. But if he gets busy, or should I say if he gets bored, and Max, the best is blessed, but, Funky's got something to say about that as well. So if you do decide to hang around 145, it would be an absolute honor to share the octagon with you.
Nice one for me. Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. I guess when you hear that, you obviously fought Sean. You've been in this division with all these guys, so you probably have your feelings about who should be fighting Sean and whatnot. But Merab, too, getting passed over. I guess, were you surprised at all? Maybe people say it's a bigger fight to fight Chito. There's more heat behind it. But what was kind of your reaction to the next bantamweight title fight?
I was hoping that the fans would get more behind the merit side of things, but some of the fans like the drama. Chito did knock him out, and it was a weird fight. I mean, he started off really hot for O'Malley, and then whatever, he fell over and got knocked out. It is what it is. Sometimes things just don't go your way. He's went on a great run after that, and I think it's a great fight. Regardless, even if he's not the right guy to be in there, I think Chito's a tough dude, and I think he can have another upset and shock the world once again, and this time become a world champion, all because of O'Malley's ego to want to right the wrong, so to speak. I think the right fight to make would have obviously been Merab, but I just think sometimes karma's a bitch, and best of luck to both men.
Can you just give me your thoughts on Merab and Henry Cejudo? How do you think that's going to go? Clearly we know who you're picking, but how do you see the fight going?
I think Cejudo's going to come out and get a couple inside trips, possibly. But I think he's got to worry about a couple of different things that Merab does well. He's not a traditional wrestler. He's got a judo black belt. He's got that sambo background as well. I think his style is a little bit more unique. Anyone who can shoot 49 times in a fight is insane. That's an insane gas tank. So I think he's kind of overlooking what it's going to be. Unless he can stop him, I think that's the only way Cejudo's going to get it done. But I think good luck with that. Merab's hard to hit, and the one guy who hit him pretty hard was Marlon Moraes, and we saw how that turned out. He came back from adversity and ended up getting the finish. So I'm very excited about this one. I think this is a big opportunity for him to show the world who he is, take Triple C. I took him to Double C, and now it's up to Merab to bring him back to just Cejudo. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a great fight for the fans.
And we're noticing Merab's personality coming out a little bit more with his funny videos. Do you have any inspiration? Like, were you inspiration to that? And do you feel like he's going to get in there with Cejudo with the trash talk?
We'll see. Merab's always been a funny guy in the room. The English barrier has been a little bit tough for him when it comes to like cameras and stuff to kind of let that shine. I think the better his English has gotten, the more he's been able to show the world his personality. And I think that's the thing that people have to realize. It's not that he's not a personality. He has. Merab's a funny dude. So it's nice that he's getting to finally show that to the world, and the world is starting to see like, this is a funny motherfucker. So with that being said, I don't know if I'm the inspiration. I know I've done a couple of things we've done together back in the days. We're actually just talking about this last night when we were hitting pads, and I just told him how great that skit was. I just thought it was just pure genius.
Thank you.
For you, Aljo, because you've mentioned a few times the merit side of things, and you're one of, I would say, the few fighters who's really banging the drum on wanting the UFC or things to get back to a meritocracy. Are there more fighters that feel the same as you, but maybe don't speak out the way you do on the way things are done? And do you wish they would step up and kind of rally behind your sentiment?
100%. But at the end of the day, it's the UFC show. They run the business. They see the dollar signs before anything else. So I get that aspect of it. They got to feed themselves. They got to feed us. And they got to feed their shareholders now, So I get all that. I do wish some of these fighters would step up and bang their drum a little bit, because that's what I got into the sport for. I want to face the best. There's only 3 guys I've ever fought that were not ranked. Everybody else I fought have been ranked. Some of these other guys are building up a resume on unranked fighters, guys who are no longer here. And I think you can look down the list of the guys I faced, the guys Merab faced, and there's nothing but a killer's row. So I like that side of it. I don't like easy fights. And I think that's one of the things I think I respect about anyone else who kind of goes through that fire. I think it says a lot more about you as a person.
And this is not an MMA union question. More so, what I'm curious about is there's a lot of fighters who are represented by the same managers, and I'm sure you guys all have the same interests. So is there a way for you guys to sort of unofficially band together to get the fights that you think make the most sense from a merit standpoint, to whip that scale back in that direction?
That's a tough one, because I don't think those managers are going to do that. I don't want to say too much and get my shoe off, bite my nose and spite my face, kind of a thing. But there's a lot I can say about managers, and I think they're looking out for their best interests more than they're looking out for their fighters. I think that's the most political answer I can give, and I don't think there's ever going to be a time where they're going to be on the fighter side. It's more about their pockets, how many athletes they can get, and how many different ways they can get paid.
Do fighters be more hip to that and sort of do anything about that?
Hey, listen, behind the scenes, I try talking some sense to these guys. I'm not trying to piss anybody off, like I said, but there's a lot of fighters that do not need to have management, because those managers are not doing anything for these guys to elevate their careers, respectfully. And again, some of these guys do good work, some of these guys don't. If it's only answer the phone, hey, this is the opponent, what do I need you for? What am I actually paying you a chunk of my money, where that money could be used for my coaches, extra hotel rooms, extra flights, car service, whatever you need to actually feel like a professional athlete, or recovery and things like that. Instead, we're paying it to a guy who's answering the phone and just telling you, this is your opponent. My little sister could do that.
More like a broker situation than it is a manager situation, you think?
Exactly. If you're going to be a manager, what I'm saying is managers manage the career, not your pockets.
Thanks, Aljo. Appreciate it.